Testing out the Sony ZVE1 with the kit lens. More video in the testing out my Sony ZVE1 series. Today I picked this up. This particular episode is the Sony ZVE1 with the 16-35 G Master 2 lens with the f-stop of 2.8. Hi everyone, my name is Olu and welcome to my channel. Today we're on our third installment of our Sony ZVE1 vlog. This particular episode is the Sony ZVE1 with the 16-35 G Master 2 lens with the f-stop of 2.8. We're about to head out. We're going to get a matcha. We're going to go and watch tennis. We're going to do yoga today. It's a very simple vlog, but I just want to show you how this camera looks as a vlogging camera. I can already tell you that this will not be my vlogging setup because it's gigantic. This lens is this big. This looks like I'm trying to find the secrets of your soul. That's gonna scare people. So yeah, this is not gonna be my vlogging setup, but I just want you all to see what it looks like, just in case you want it. Now I will say, this will be my #1 in-home camera. I'm gonna use it for my TikToks. I'm probably going to keep it set up in my living room, and then I'm 90% certain that I'll either switch out the lens to the 16. I also kind of think I want to try the APS-C lenses, but stay tuned for that. Right now I have you guys on a Manfrotto tripod. We are using the 16 setting at a 2.8 aperture, and we are in standard lighting in my house. Who knew that the memory card for this camera was so expensive? For 128 gigs, it's $100. Now, I'm not gonna lie, 128 gigs, it filmed 2 vlogs so far. I like to film 4 vlogs and then transfer it to my computer, but I basically can only film 2 vlogs and then I have to back it up and save it or send it to my editor. But there's gonna be a lot of videos coming up that are gonna be filmed by my editor, so I have to change basically my whole system for uploading and saving documents. I have an employee. I already told her I could give her enough videos to be a full-time job. I think this is really just an answered prayer. I thought I was gonna have to buy her a MacBook. I was gonna have to buy her all these hard drives. I thought I was gonna have to buy her Final Cut Pro, but she's doing it on her own, which means I have more money to pay her for a video. So y'all about to see me everywhere, okay? And come December, we should have a good groove going, and y'all, I'm excited. She's a really great editor. My outfit is fully Lululemon. Y'all know I joined a social club, and so today is the first tennis match of that social club. I joined pretty late in the year, so I'm not on the team, but I'm good enough to be on the team. If I do say so myself. Y'all, I had not played tennis in 15 years, but I played tennis from probably the age of 5 to 17. I did not think that tennis was gonna be like riding a bike. Y'all, I've been there 4 times a week since I joined. I'm gonna be so good by next year. And now when we go to Nigeria, I'm gonna have to play to keep it up. But I also really love it. The moral of the story is my kids are gonna be big sports heads. And I'm already giving soccer mom. This channel is not sponsored by San Pellegrino, but it should be. Call me. So basically, I just wanted to show y'all another very expensive item I had to get when I bought this camera. We've been filming for 4 minutes and we're already at 95%. The battery on this camera, it goes out pretty quickly. So I bought another battery that I can just throw into my purse. Y'all, this battery was $80. So the memory card being $100 per, the battery pack being $80, an extra battery pack. A charger for the battery pack does not come with the camera. This camera is $2,000. The least they could do is give me a charge. Anyway, you can charge the camera with the USB-C cord. So if you have an iPhone, if you have an Android, you already have that cord. So fair. I didn't need an extra cord, but if you have an extra battery pack, you kind of want to have another charger, a standalone charger, so that it can be charging while you're using the one in the camera. There you go. And then this part opens and closes, and then you just stick it into the wall. What I can tell you right now is that it's been in that wall for 2 hours and it's still not charged all the way. It doesn't tell you like what percentage it's at. It just tells you it turns green when it's finished. It's been 2 hours, so I'm gonna have to take it with me because there's an hour and 40 minutes on this 128 gig SD card, and I would like at least enough charge to get through that if I need it. I don't think I'm about to film for an hour and 41 minutes, but best to be prepared. Let's go outside. So we're in the car. If you were watching the other two Sony ZVE videos that I've made, you know where you are. You're balanced on my steering wheel and my dash. You are maybe a hand and a half away from my face, and you can still see all of me. This entire time we've been on dynamic active. That's why we've been cropped in like this. That's actually what notified me that we were on dynamic active, because we should have been able to see all of the back seat of my car. So this is us on standard. We're probably gonna be back on dynamic active because we're gonna be walking around. So on the screen are several different options. You can turn on your product placement from the screen. You can change the focus from like humans to animals to food from the screen. You can change your settings from the screen without actually having to stop the video and like look at the back of the camera. I think that's actually a really neat feature. We're going to Matcha Maiko, which is kind of like out of the way, but semi in the direction of the tennis match. Oh, it opens at 1 and the game starts at 1. So we're gonna go to Finca and get a very sugary matcha. It's my favorite matcha. So obviously I went to Finca, which is my favorite place to get a matcha in Atlanta that's like not an authentic matcha. Today's flavor is Fruity Pebble. That is good. That is good. Because I've been going to Finca to filter, I had my first sage, sea salt, and vanilla matcha. So I finally learned how to make simple syrup, like infused simple syrups. I just did that this week. Now I gotta learn how to make a Fruity Pebble one. What? Okay, we're heading to ITP. 20 minutes away, so I'm gonna be late.
Welcome if this is your first time. If you've been before, welcome back. Thanks for coming back. And a little bit about me before I start teaching. This class will be a deep stretch, relaxation, a yoga class. So I got my inspiration for teaching stretching specifically and yoga for my grandmother. She lived to be 94 years old, you guys, and she was able to do her splits till she was in her 90s as well. So basically was able to live a very long, healthy life, take care of her body, and didn't really have many things wrong with her body until she was in her 90s. So people would always ask her, like, what was her secret to longevity, to just very aware mind at an older age. You know, a lot of people kind of become less mobile, but she felt like all of that was due to her habit of stretching every single day, which she made me do from a young age. I always would be annoyed by it, but now as I get older, I see the benefits of it in prevention and recovery. So with that being said, we're gonna get started. You guys can
Alright, so I can tell y'all right now that I'm never going to carry this lens out to vlog. I don't think with the 16mm, I did not feel that way. So I went to a place called Barbacoa. In college, it was called Noche. And I've been driving around this area trying to figure out if it still existed because they were my favorite tacos. I don't know, they may not even be good because everything changes after living in New York. Like, what I'm used to, what I think is good now, my childhood self couldn't even imagine. Anyway, I was looking around. I found the restaurant in front of it first, and I said, oh, it just changed names. That's why I couldn't find it. It's now called Barbacoa. It has like they had a Barbacoa taco that was buy one, get one free. Let me show y'all. Ooh! I remember loving this taco so much. This taco tastes like friendship. That's all I remember was the friend group I used to go to Noche's with. And I think the full price taco was $3. Guess how much it is now? This one taco was $6, y'all. So we're gonna go home to finish the rest, but that was good. Great memories, had a blast. I will be back at Barbacoa. Go. We're on 30% battery, do you see? And this is with me. Y'all, I definitely have something to say about this camera. Everybody was talking about how this camera overheats and making it such a big deal. This camera was in direct sun for an hour, filmed perfectly. Everybody's phones overheated. This camera did not. That myth is not true, okay? This camera is fine with the heat. I just walked in here, but I don't like to wear outside clothes inside my house, number one. Number two, I also did yoga in the grass. So I definitely had to change. Sponsor me. Anyway, the moral of the story is I wouldn't carry this setup around. It's beautiful. I like how it looks. It can give the exaggerated extra energy that I even like, but it's gigantic. Here's the second taco, Barbacoa. Let's see if you're any good, because why were you on sale? It's not a Tuesday. Another purchase I feel like you need with this camera is a remote control, because multiple times in that yoga class I wanted to like stop and start so I didn't waste the battery, but I couldn't do that. Because of that, I had to leave the camera running, and that's how I found out that this camera isn't overheating like they said it would. Actually, now that I think about it, this camera kept going into manual focus by accident, but what I didn't realize is that there's a manual focus button on this lens, so I think I kept hitting it. That's something to note. Anyway, I really like the zoom. I really like the coloring. I really like how when it did focus, it would also autonomously figure out how to light the picture. It's a great lens. It's a great lens, and it's gonna be really great for product shots. It was great for vlogging, except for the size. So if you're willing to carry this, you're gonna make stellar content, but you have to be willing, because quite honestly, we're talking about a $5,000 setup, and that's not something I just want to be carrying around. The 16mm lens is $600. Not like crazy cheap, but like not ridiculous. What I'm saying is, wonderful lens, wonderful setup, but this is definitely an at-home setup. Good night. Today we're doing our second rendition. No. Today we are doing our third version of the Sony vlogs. Today we're on our third installment of our Sony ZVE1 vlogs. This is just, you know what, I should bring an edible. Am I going back in the house? I don't think so. For an edible? I am. That was intense. Yeah, it's hot everywhere. So like autonomy.